Well, for more on security, let's have this chat with a security analyst and consultant, Dr. Steve Okwori. Steve, glad to have you join us on Newsnight.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, let's start with this issue of the NRG raising alarm, over what they have termed the worsening security situation across northern Nigeria. And so they're calling for collective action to stop the cycle of violence. And then they're also calling for national emergency. Speak to these two, and what will even national emergency involve on security, really?
Yeah, well, of course, you agree with me that the northern part of Nigeria is currently being faced with a lot of these insecurity challenges, terrorism, banditry activities, kidnappings and all that, adoptions, ransom paid. We mostly see these criminal activities in the north. And of course, you know that there are some key triggers, that leads to it.
I was going to ask you that when you finish with this.
Yeah, and it is something that is worrisome, looking at the way these issues are being seen. But it will not take away the fact that the Nigerian security architecture, from what you have been reading in the news, well, they have recorded some successes, commendable successes across the multiple fronts, right? You see the coordinated security operations by the armed forces, the DSS, the police, and all that. It shows, it demonstrates growing synergy, and intelligence sharing among security agencies. Notably, is you see the military intensified kinetic operations that we are seeing currently, because we have new service chiefs, we have a new Minister of Defense, and all that. So you see a coordination within the defense security space, And what is key for me in all of these successes is that we need to see sustainability, right? They need to see how to capitalize in the successes they have recorded. They shouldn't be complacent because they have recorded some successes, so they will now go and begin to see how to become relaxed in the fight against insecurity. We need some strategic consolidation in the efforts that they have recorded so far. But by and large, we have seen that some hostages have been released or rescued. There are more there in captivity, right? Of course, the recent Kurumin Wali community in yes, well, they are still there. We haven't heard anything about them, so they need to see how to intensify their efforts. So the group calling for more of military operations or security operations is not completely out of place, right? Because when we want to begin to see the part of this Nigerian Constitution that talks about security and welfare, section 14(2)b, we must see that the government is fulfilling that section. Nigerians shouldn't be moving from one place to another with fear, or anxiety or being intimidated by these criminal elements.
As of today, most Nigerians are asking the question, is government really doing enough? But you talked about triggers, especially in the north. Why is it intractable, so seemingly intractable? Because is if you don't get to the root of a problem, you're wasting your time.
Absolutely.
Go back again.
Yeah.
So why is Nigeria, the authorities, the security agencies, not able to get to the root cause of these seemingly worsening, like they said, insecurity, particularly kidnappings all over the place?
Yes.
And speak to the fact, how did 177 people, how were they marshaled out over hours and no response from the security agencies?
Yes. You see, I want to fault the police with regards to that. First of all, what the police did by denying was already, for me, a very unprofessional remarks with regards to what happened in that community where 177 persons were kidnapped, right? For denying alone, it gave the terrorists or the bandits the opportunity to ferry their victims. Because if they hadn't denied, that said that when we see something, we should say something. Perhaps some community people saw them being taken away, but the fact that the police denied, right, perhaps they saw them as maybe people that were going about their normal business and all that. So when they saw, rather than saying that they saw some persons, group of persons moving from one community to another, perhaps they heard the information from the police that nothing of such happened, right? So that denial and the delay from the police gave rise to the criminals to they left unchallenged. There was no security agent or whatever to challenge them, right? And that's why we keep talking about government presence in some of these communities that we are talking about. These communities are remote. There's no security presence. If you take a survey, if you carry out a survey, you discover that most of these communities don't have security presence. And that is why the way and manner the president is currently going with regards to forest guards, I think is a commendable effort in that regard. Because these forest guards will be recruited from their immediate communities and all that. And when they are trained, and it's also a good move that the president has even given orders for these forest guards to be armed, right? Because he knows that they will be first responders when these criminals come to confront these members of this local community, right? And because these criminals are not confronted, the police is not there, the military are not there in order to see how to confront them. Nobody challenged them, So they come, they have a fertile ground where they carry out this out. Imagine from one church, about 3 churches, they took their time, early hours in the morning, not even during the night.
As a sad commentary on our security situation, Dr. Steve Okwori, a pity we couldn't talk about. It was interesting, these 2 lads that were caught that wanted to pirates, quite interesting. And when I was reading it, I just wondered, how these 2, and they were planning something bigger.
Exactly.
But we'll just leave it there. That's a very good one that they had. That speaks good of intelligence, for them to nip it in the bud. Thank you so much, security analyst and consultant Dr. Steve Okwori, for being on Newsnight.
Yeah, thank you.